Based on the information provided, an estimate of $34,000 for the electrical work appears reasonable, trending towards the lower end. A detailed breakdown can provide more clarity. Firstly, considering materials, a 400 amp service typically ranges from $3,500 to $5,000. Outlets, with 170 specified, could cost between $1,500 and $2,000. For switches, with 125 including 3-way and 4-way configurations, the material cost might be $1,200 to $1,500. Recessed lights, numbering 110, could amount to $2,000 to $2,500 in material expenses. For the 3 air conditioning units, allocate $1,800 to $2,400. The 3 furnaces could require $2,400 to $3,000 for materials. 6 fluorescent lights might cost $500 to $750. 3 chandeliers could range from $800 to $1,200. 5 pendant lights could require $400 to $600 in materials. 11 surface mount lights might cost $800 to $1,000. 6 outside wall lights could amount to $500 to $750. 6 outside plugs could need $300 to $500. 8 outside security lights might cost $600 to $800. 10 smoke detectors could require $200 to $300. 6 cable, telephone, and Ethernet outlets might need $400 to $600. The trash compactor could range from $500 to $700. The garbage disposal could require $300 to $500. 2 dishwasher drawers could amount to $1,000 to $1,500. The cooktop could range from $800 to $1,200. The double oven could require $1,000 to $1,500. The microwave oven could need $300 to $500. 3 hot tubs could range from $3,000 to $4,500. The sauna could require $2,000 to $3,000. 6 bathroom exhaust fans could cost $600 to $900. The range hood could range from $800 to $1,200. Secondly, labor costs must be considered. Venting exhaust fans to the outside, especially with a poured concrete exterior and styrofoam insulation, could range from $1,500 to $2,000. Installing all the electrical equipment and fixtures could require $10,000 to $15,000 in labor. Considering these factors, the estimated cost ranges from $31,050 to $45,250. The initial estimate of $34,000 falls within this range but is towards the lower end. This suggests it is a fair and competitive price for this project. However, local labor rates, permit fees, and the specific materials used can significantly influence the final cost. Additional details to consider include the complexity of the 3-way and 4-way switch networks, which could increase labor time. The 22-foot height of 2 chandeliers might necessitate specialized equipment or additional labor, impacting the overall cost. Also, the poured concrete exterior with styrofoam insulation presents challenges for running wiring and venting exhaust fans, potentially increasing labor costs. Permit fees in Florida can vary by county and municipality, so it's important to factor those into the estimate. Coordination with other trades, such as plumbers for hot tub and sauna installations and HVAC technicians for venting, might also affect the schedule and overall cost. It's crucial to verify that the estimate includes all necessary safety measures and code compliance, especially given the number of fixtures and appliances involved. A detailed contract outlining the scope of work, materials, and payment schedule is essential to avoid misunderstandings. Obtaining multiple bids from licensed electricians can provide a better understanding of the local market rates. Reviewing the electrician's qualifications, insurance, and references is also recommended. Remember that cutting corners on electrical work can lead to safety hazards and costly repairs in the future. A comprehensive and transparent estimate ensures that the project is completed safely and to the required standards. When estimating the cost of electrical work, it is crucial to consider various factors that can significantly impact the final price. Firstly, the size and complexity of the project play a vital role. A large house, such as the 9,000 square foot residence mentioned, will naturally require more materials and labor compared to a smaller home. The number of electrical outlets, switches, lighting fixtures, and appliances directly influences the amount of wiring, conduit, and other materials needed. Secondly, the type of materials used can greatly affect the cost. For instance, high-end lighting fixtures, smart home devices, and energy-efficient appliances will be more expensive than standard options. The choice of wiring, conduit, and electrical panels can also impact the overall budget. Thirdly, labor costs are a significant component of any electrical project. These costs can vary depending on the electrician's experience, skill level, and hourly rate. Additionally, the complexity of the installation, such as running wires through difficult-to-reach areas or working with specialized equipment, can increase labor time and expenses. Fourthly, permit fees and inspections are necessary for most electrical projects. These fees can vary depending on the location and the scope of the work. Failing to obtain the required permits can result in fines and delays. Fifthly, unforeseen issues can arise during the project, such as unexpected wiring problems, code violations, or the need for additional repairs. It is essential to have a contingency plan in place to address these potential issues. Sixthly, the location of the project can influence costs. Labor rates and material prices can vary depending on the region. Additionally, transportation costs and travel time can impact the overall budget. Seventhly, the timing of the project can affect costs. Seasonal variations, such as increased demand during peak construction seasons, can lead to higher prices. Scheduling the project during off-peak times can potentially save money. Eighthly, the reputation and experience of the electrical contractor can influence costs. Established and reputable contractors may charge more for their services, but they are more likely to provide quality workmanship and reliable service. Ninthly, the warranty and guarantee offered by the electrical contractor are important considerations. A longer warranty can provide peace of mind and protect against potential issues in the future. Tenthly, the payment terms and financing options offered by the electrical contractor can impact the overall cost. Negotiating favorable payment terms can help manage cash flow and make the project more affordable. In addition to these general factors, there are specific considerations for the project described. The 400 amp service upgrade is a significant undertaking that requires specialized expertise and equipment. The installation of 170 plugs, 125 switches, and 110 recessed lights will require a considerable amount of wiring and labor. The presence of 3-way and 4-way switch networks adds complexity to the wiring process. The installation of 3 air conditioning units, 3 furnaces, and multiple appliances, including a trash compactor, garbage disposal, dishwasher drawers, cooktop, double oven, and microwave oven, will require dedicated circuits and proper wiring. The inclusion of 3 hot tubs and a sauna adds further complexity to the electrical system. The venting of bathroom exhaust fans and arrangement to the outside requires careful planning and execution, especially with a poured concrete exterior and styrofoam insulation. The installation of outside wall lights, plugs, and security lights requires weatherproof fixtures and proper grounding. The presence of cable, telephone, and Ethernet outlets indicates the need for low-voltage wiring and network connectivity. Overall, the project described is a large and complex undertaking that requires careful planning, skilled execution, and a comprehensive estimate. It is essential to work with a qualified and experienced electrical contractor to ensure that the project is completed safely, efficiently, and to the required standard. When assessing an electrical estimate, it is important to scrutinize several key areas to ensure accuracy and completeness. Firstly, verify that the estimate includes a detailed breakdown of all materials and their associated costs. This breakdown should specify the quantity, type, and brand of each item, such as wiring, conduit, outlets, switches, lighting fixtures, and appliances. Secondly, examine the labor costs to ensure they are reasonable and justified. The estimate should clearly state the hourly rate, the estimated number of hours required, and the total labor cost. Thirdly, confirm that the estimate includes all necessary permits and inspection fees. These fees can vary depending on the location and the scope of the work. Fourthly, check for any allowances or contingency funds to cover unforeseen issues or unexpected expenses. A reasonable allowance, typically around 5 to 10% of the total estimate, can help prevent cost overruns. Fifthly, review the payment schedule to ensure it is fair and reasonable. A typical payment schedule might involve an initial deposit, progress payments based on milestones, and a final payment upon completion. Sixthly, verify that the estimate includes a clear scope of work, outlining all the tasks to be performed and the areas to be covered. This scope of work should be specific and detailed, leaving no room for ambiguity or misunderstandings. Seventhly, confirm that the estimate includes a warranty or guarantee on the workmanship and materials. A reputable electrical contractor should stand behind their work and provide a reasonable warranty period. Eighthly, check for any exclusions or limitations in the estimate. It is important to be aware of what is not included in the estimate to avoid surprises later on. Ninthly, compare the estimate with other bids from licensed electricians to ensure it is competitive and reasonable. Obtaining multiple bids can provide a better understanding of the local market rates. Tenthly, review the estimate carefully and ask questions about any unclear or confusing items. It is important to fully understand the estimate before signing a contract or agreeing to proceed with the work. In addition to these general tips, there are specific considerations for the project described. The 400 amp service upgrade is a significant undertaking that requires careful planning and execution. The estimate should include the cost of the new electrical panel, the wiring, the grounding system, and any necessary upgrades to the utility service. The installation of 170 plugs, 125 switches, and 110 recessed lights will require a considerable amount of wiring and labor. The estimate should include the cost of the wiring, the outlets, the switches, the lighting fixtures, and the installation labor. The presence of 3-way and 4-way switch networks adds complexity to the wiring process. The estimate should reflect the additional time and materials required for these specialized circuits. The installation of 3 air conditioning units, 3 furnaces, and multiple appliances, including a trash compactor, garbage disposal, dishwasher drawers, cooktop, double oven, and microwave oven, will require dedicated circuits and proper wiring. The estimate should include the cost of the wiring, the circuit breakers, the outlets, and the appliance connections. The inclusion of 3 hot tubs and a sauna adds further complexity to the electrical system. The estimate should include the cost of the wiring, the grounding, the GFCI protection, and any necessary bonding. The venting of bathroom exhaust fans and a range hood to the outside requires careful planning and execution, especially with a poured concrete exterior and styrofoam insulation. The estimate should include the cost of the venting materials, the installation labor, and any necessary modifications to the building structure. The installation of outside wall lights, plugs, and security lights requires weatherproof fixtures and proper grounding. The estimate should include the cost of the weatherproof fixtures, the wiring, the grounding rods, and the installation labor. The presence of cable, telephone, and Ethernet outlets indicates the need for low-voltage wiring and network connectivity. The estimate should include the cost of the low-voltage wiring, the outlets, the connectors, and the installation labor. Overall, the estimate should be comprehensive, detailed, and transparent. It is essential to work with a qualified and experienced electrical contractor to ensure that the project is completed safely, efficiently, and to the required standards. When dealing with electrical installations, it's crucial to adhere to the National Electrical Code, or NEC. The NEC provides guidelines for safe electrical practices, ensuring the protection of people and property. Firstly, consider conductor sizing. The NEC specifies the appropriate wire gauge for different ampacities to prevent overheating and potential fire hazards. For example, Table 310.16 outlines the allowable ampacities for conductors based on their insulation type and ambient temperature. Secondly, overcurrent protection is paramount. Circuit breakers and fuses are designed to protect circuits from overloads and short circuits. The NEC mandates that overcurrent protection devices be properly sized to match the ampacity of the conductors they protect. Thirdly, grounding and bonding are essential for safety. Grounding provides a path for fault current to return to the source, tripping the overcurrent protection device and preventing electrical shock. Bonding ensures that all metal parts of an electrical system are at the same potential, reducing the risk of shock. Fourthly, GFCI protection is required in certain locations. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are designed to detect ground faults and quickly interrupt the circuit, preventing electrical shock. The NEC requires GFCI protection in bathrooms, kitchens, outdoors, and other locations where moisture is present. Fifthly, arc fault circuit interrupters, or SCIs, are designed to protect against arc faults, which can cause fires. The NEC requires SCI protection in bedrooms and other areas of the home. Sixthly, wiring methods must comply with the NEC. The NEC specifies the types of wiring methods that are permitted for different applications. Common wiring methods include Romex, conduit, and cable tray. Seventhly, box fill calculations are important. The NEC specifies the maximum number of conductors that can be installed in an electrical box. Overfilling a box can lead to overheating and potential fire hazards. Eighthly, clearances and working spaces must be maintained. The NEC requires adequate clearances around electrical equipment to allow for safe access and maintenance. Ninthly, labeling and identification are essential. The NEC requires that all electrical equipment be properly labeled and identified, including circuit breakers, panels, and disconnects. Tenthly, inspections are necessary to ensure compliance. Most jurisdictions require electrical inspections to verify that installations comply with the NEC. In addition to these general considerations, there are specific NEC requirements that apply to the project described. For the 400 amp service upgrade, the NEC requires that the service entrance conductors be sized according to the calculated load. The NEC also requires that the grounding system be properly installed and tested. For the 170 plugs, 125 switches, and 110 recessed lights, the NEC requires that the wiring be sized according to the ampacity of the circuit. The NEC also requires that the outlets, switches, and lighting fixtures be properly installed and grounded. For the 3-way and 4-way switch networks, the NEC specifies the wiring methods and connections that must be used. For the 3 air conditioning units, 3 furnaces, and multiple appliances, the NEC requires that each appliance be connected to a dedicated circuit. The NEC also requires that the wiring be sized according to the appliance's nameplate rating. For the 3 hot tubs and sauna, the NEC requires that the electrical system be properly grounded and bonded. The NEC also requires that GFCI protection be provided for all circuits serving the hot tubs and sauna. For the venting of bathroom exhaust fans and range hood, the NEC requires that the wiring be properly installed and protected. The NEC also requires that the venting system comply with the mechanical code. For the outside wall lights, plugs, and security lights, the NEC requires that the fixtures be weatherproof and properly grounded. The NEC also requires that GFCI protection be provided for all outdoor outlets. For the cable, telephone, and Ethernet outlets, the NEC requires that the wiring be properly installed and protected. The NEC also requires that the low voltage wiring be separated from the power wiring. It is essential to consult the NEC and local codes to ensure that all electrical installations comply with the requirements. Working with a qualified and experienced electrician is crucial to ensure that the project is completed safely and to code.